Welcome back everyone after a long game 1. Vuptrox Academy strike first in the series, but we are back and ready for the game 2 to see if Royal Reapers can force one more game or Vuptrox Academy will end it here and now.
Match point is the current scoreline. Vuptrox looked very dominating towards the end of that game. We saw some very clutch plays come through in the jungle. Yangang was an absolute MVP for them, but Royal Reapers, they've had a few minutes to take a break, collect themselves, and prepare for this game 2. It is all to play for now. They won't be wanting their split to end here. They won't be wanting to go out like this. So expect a fight, and we're hoping this is going to go all the way to a game 3. It's more exciting with a back and forth series, but that first game, to be fair, it was pretty close. It wasn't one-sided at any real point, Casca.
Yeah, it was only really once the Azir got the scaling that Vuptrox looked in control. Royal Reapers had the gold lead for the majority of the game. It's just it didn't quite work out at the end, but we're now back in the picks and bans. The same bans for Royal Reapers. Vuptrox Academy taking away the Aatrox and the Morgana.
And Nivea is going to be the first to take away from Royal Reapers. Yumi is going to be there as well. Aatrox, Morgana, like you said, for Vuptrox Academy. Have to see what adaptations come through. If the Sejuani rises in priority as being banned for Royal Reapers, or whether they let that go through again.
Oh, I like the ban. They remove Chrissy's Xayah, so he will be forced on another champion. But by the way, Vuptrox Academy, they have opted into the red side in game 2. Royal Reapers had a selection before, and Vuptrox Academy decide they want to keep things the same. They want their counter picks to matter. And now Rek'Sai is actually going to be banned, so we won't see Candy and Mylene default back onto his champion.
Either teams are going to get their hands on this. Royal Reapers will lock in the Sejuani first, taking that away from Bartesh, it looks like, in the jungle now. So we have seen a bit of a switch up for Vuptrox, one of their subs coming in. And taking that priority pick away gives Royal Reapers a lot more engaged. It gives them a bit more of a standard front line, and it removes that pick from the side of Vuptrox as well. We're seeing a lot of different hovers. The Mordekaiser looks like it could be locked in now, but a Talia. And this is one of the surprises that we suggested might come out in the jungle when we started the stream off. We saw Vuptrox were practicing this a little bit. Looks like it's turned up to give us a bit of a run for our money.
It could, in theory, also go to Toxi. I am really not sure whether that will be Talia in the jungle for Yangang. I guess maybe, but the Akali was left open. Vuptrox Academy are hovering it now, and they lock it in. We'll see if the ban in game 1 was justified then.
Kill pressure in spades now that this Akali is present. She has a ton of burst damage, but a very quick response from Royal Reapers, Silas and the Karma. So going for the ability to steal those ultimates again, looking to take those scrappy fights with the Akali in a very back and forth matchup between the two champions, and the Karma is going to be that supportive element, buffing up those carries and providing utility to the team.
And I already like the Sejuani Silas duo. One thing we've seen Royal Reapers succeed at is the skirmishes around the mid lane. You take a very good skirmishing duo, whether that Silas goes in top or mid lane. Now they need to make it count as Vuptrox Academy. They go for their AD carry in Savior, and now they will ban away the Caitlyn.
Not wanting to let Imbi have access to that. He was able to put a lot of work in when he was able to free hit at the back of fights, especially in some of those base defenses. The Caitlyn was a real problem for Vuptrox to try and get around, so they will remove that for themselves, and also picking up the Sivir as their last choice there. It's going to provide another safe scaling option, and not going to fall too easily in lane as well. Sivir is one of the safer champions, a lot of wave clear at range, so a nice safe bot lane that Vuptrox could be looking to just play passively through and scale up getting to his late game stage again.
Alright, Royal Reapers take away the air god from Endorser. They decide it was too much of a burden to deal with. As Kai'Sa the second, very strong AD carry, now being taken out, so MP he will have to dig down a bit, and Xayah, Kai'Sa, Caitlyn and Sivir all are off the table.
The AD carry pool is getting thinned out dramatically, and I hate to say it, but we might be seeing an Ezreal could be a solid pick here, but an On for the side of Vuptrox Academy, not a champion we see a lot of, but still has a lot of useful applications. A massive tanky bulwark front line that Vuptrox now have access to, long range engage and teamfight activation potential with that Call of a Forge God, and the ability to enhance his teammates' items for that extra late game damage is going to be pivotal if this game goes as long as the first one did.
And Endorser is a fairly big Ornn player himself, so definitely a comfort pick. Now, MB. On Illusion, interesting. Royal Reapers, they take a much more early game oriented stance, and I feel like you kinda have to. You just play this scaling game, you did well in the early game, but you didn't win because you were in an early game team comp, and then you got outscaled, which is definitely interesting as... Alright, we are seeing a rumble.
Royal Reapers will lock in the Lucian, they will lock in the Rumble, and they have given themselves a clock to play against. They're no longer just playing against Vuptrox, they are on the time limit. This Lucian will fall off hard if he doesn't get ahead early. The Rumble has a massive impact around these mid-game team fights, able to do so much damage, so much zoning potential with that ultimate, but if they don't hit it off the mark, they don't manage to snowball this game, they are quickly going to run into a lot of problems, because Vuptrox, they've gone for scaling again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're looking to drag this game out and drag Royal Reapers down in a 2-0.
Also, you mentioned the scaling, but I look at the Tillia in the jungle. A while since we saw that one. One thing that I remember though, if you get ahead in snowballs like the devil itself. So Yangang, he'll have a pretty big task onto him, whereas Royal Reapers, I feel like they got what they wanted more or less out of this draft. They like to play early game, they like to skirmish, they've got champions that are pretty good at doing that.
They definitely have, but it's going to be about the execution, and that is something that concerns me after this first game that we just witnessed, because Royal Reapers and Vuptrox Academy are both very evenly matched in terms of the skill between the players, but it did look like in a lot of those fights and a lot of those early skirmishes, it was Vuptrox that was coming out ahead. They seemed to just have the slight edge in a lot of those fights, especially around the mid-game mark, and that's where Royal Reapers team comp is really set up to excel. So they have to play it cleanly, they have to get the objectives that they want, they have to get the kills that they want, and they then have to be able to push forward and do something with it. If they let the pace drop and they sit back a bit, Vuptrox Academy will stall the game out and they will simply roll over Royal Reapers like a boulder accumulating momentum.
Not only that, if Vuptrox Academy ever find themselves on the positive end of that tempo anywhere in the early game, and Toxi gets himself some kills, he is very well capable of taking the games on himself throughout the whole split on champions like Pyke. He has shown that if he is given kills and a champion to snowball, he will single-handedly carry the game. A lot of pressure on the Royal Reapers. You have only one more game. You lose here, your split ends. You drop out in the quarterfinals, and that is not what you want.
Vuptrox Academy are looking to make that happen though. Like you said, the Akali is going to provide a lot of kill pressure, and they really have an answer for every stage of the game. I feel like they've picked very safe laners that are able to scale well. There isn't really a clear area for the side of Royal Reapers to exploit and target to put Vuptrox Academy behind. I mean, you can try and target Toxi in this mid lane, but with that Akali, there's so much maneuverability, there's so much concealment in that shroud that she puts down, it's very difficult to actually pin her down. What we could see instead is perhaps Omena moving away into the jungle, using Candy and Mylene as this roaming duo, and trying to find Vartage on this Taliyah. If they can cut down the jungler for Vuptrox Academy, I feel that that limits a lot of the power that they played within the first game, and it could be an avenue for Royal Reapers to get back into this series.
Right, we are back on the Rift for the game 2 of this best of 3. And yeah, Royal Reapers looking to strike back this time. Probably no level 1 action. We'll see if any early Raptor wards will be picked up. What I do want to focus on is the Tillia Yangang opting into the Dark Harvest. That is the Tillia that wants to destroy destroy your team. It's not the Tilia that wants to scale.
Yeah, it's not. That Dark Harvest is definitely an indicator for what this team is going for. They want to try and get this Talia ahead. They want to be transferring kills from the top lane, from the bottom lane onto her, and really using that Talia as the crutch to get them through to the late game. We're seeing 3 Doran's shield coming through across the board. Top, mid, and AD carry all have this. That is a very defensive item line for the side of Vuptrox Academy. They want to stall it out. Apart from Yangang, who wants to press that go button?
Omena sneaks in the Raptor wards. It will provide some information about where Yangang is starting. The Vuptrox bot lane though, they want to get their first ambient Francesco. They read it. They saw the game 1 where Chrissy and Lepiggy were able to get ahead and they say, no, this time we are going to be there ourselves and make sure bot lane doesn't go wrong.
Candy Mylene has the opportunity to start on that weaker leash as well topside because of the passive from Sejuani giving all of that armor and magic resist. It allows you to tank up these camps a little bit easier and take less damage. So won't be distracting too much from the Sejuani's clear by not having the bot lane leash, but Toxie stepping forwards already with the early level 2.
He's got the Shroud, a lot of damage traded onto Omena, and he abuses that level 2 very, very well, showing already his... I don't want to say prowess 2 minutes into the game, but he's playing the champion extremely comfortably.
He's knowing how to position, he knows what abilities he has access to, how far he can push his champion at this stage, but Lepiggy and Chrissy are fading away in this bot lane. They're trying to back away, let the wave crash onto tower, and they'll pick up what they can. They're wanting to play very, very safely, while Yangang will be spotted out on that Raptor ward, so Royal Reapers know where he is currently, will know where he's pathing after this, and will be able to play safe in accordance.
Yeah, Awaken in the top lane, he's playing that Ramble into the tank matchup. It's pretty much a meme of how easy it is for Ramble to trade, and Dorser though doing a pretty good job at keeping up in the CS and actually not losing that much health. Of course, Yorn having the obnoxious shield on his Bellows Breath.
Yeah, 2 things you don't want to play against as a low mobility melee tank in the top lane. Number 1, a Vayne. Number 2, a Rumble. Oh dear, we have a Rumble into an Ornn. That is not a favourable matchup, but Endorser does have the benefit on the Ornn. His unique passive allows him to build items while he's in lane, so providing he doesn't get too low and he's forced completely back, he will be able to survive for a long time and potentially keep sustaining as he's picking up the CS quite nicely. Could opt into some early matchup resist to try and make this learning phase a bit easier for him.
I think that's what we are going to see as Toxie. He's just using his position in mid lane very well, getting himself slightly more ahead at 4 minutes over Omena. This Akali, we talked about how dangerous it is. Royal Reapers themselves banned it in game 1. It's now left open, and it may prove to be their demise, but of course it's too early to make any such statements.
And how difficult to pin down the Akali is as well. We saw as Toxie was stepping forwards, then Candy Mylene was moving up on Miss Sejuani, was looking for a potential gank, but so much maneuverability. The ability of Akali to reposition in fights, duck in and out of that shroud, and then dash away makes it a really, really difficult target to pin down. And even if you do manage to kill the Akali, how much time have you spent doing that? Yangang is able to move about the map very, very quickly, able to impact a lot of different areas. So all of that time that Omena and Candy Mylene would be using to kill Toxie in the mid lane, Yangang would be free to do something else on the map and get his own value as he's looking towards bot.
Ooh, I don't think he got spotted on any of the vision that is there for Royal Reapers. He's not going to commit into the gank. It's kind of hard before the level 6 on either you or Lepiggy. And this game is exactly what Vuptrox want. It's slow, not a lot of action is now Endorser. He goes forward with the Searing Charge up in the top lane onto Awaken, and it's just a back and forth trade between both the top laners.
Yeah, very aggressive positioning there from Endorser. You don't really want to be taking these trades as Viorn, and you definitely don't need to be right now. He is picking up some of that early magic resist and health, like we said. He's probably going towards that Abyssal Mask, going to be getting all of those resistances, making him nice and tanky. And he's also got a nice little CS lead for himself, something you definitely wouldn't expect in this matchup. So doesn't need to force anything, can feel quite happy just sat under his tower, but Omena trying to move forward here.
He doesn't land the stun, instead eats a lot of damage from Toxie, who dashes forward with the shuriken flip. He's gonna go back. Yang Gang with the seismic shove. He's just showing up in the mid lane and no one dies. No one burns the summoners.
2v2 in the mid, but no action will happen. There's no flashes on either of our mid lanes, but fight on the top side. Awaken gonna get chipped out again. Endorser taking these trades very nicely, but Evolution is caught.
Good dredge line in onto Imbi. He's already down. That's the route onto Francesco. Good flash away, but it might not be enough. That's the flash forward. And first blood is gonna be picked up by Yang Gang.
The Piggy used the Ignite, but Yang Gang got the kill. We'll be getting that Dark Harvest stack, and we'll be very, very happy with that trade. Imbi was lucky to get out alive. The Nautilus has so much engaged, but as soon as Yang Gang turned up in the lane, they knew they wanted to make something happen. You can see the positioning. Yang Gang has the ability to access this fight. It doesn't need to be on top of you, so he uses the shove, forces the flash from Francesco, and that is all it takes. But a lot of summoners were used there as well. Yang Gang now has no flash, and neither does Chrissy. So the Sivir could get caught out, but Candy and Malene trying to find something on the top side of this jungle. Going to be forced away here, will not be rewarded for his efforts.
Yeah, Yang Gang shows up. He's gonna be able to secure his own red buff, and down in that bot lane, it did feel like Royal Reapers, they aren't really tracking where Yang Gang is, because Francesco tried to step forward, help in a 2v2 trade, which ended up being a 3 versus 2, and then he paid for it with his life. That being said, there is a pretty significant CS advantage for MB right now in the bot lane, but because of that first blood assist, you can't really see it in items that much.
Yeah, and against the Sivir, if you want to talk about a CS advantage which is going to lead to anything meaningful, it needs to be a little bit more than 10 at this stage, because the Sivir has such insane wave clear that as soon as she gets an item, 2 items under her belt, those CS numbers will skyrocket all of a sudden. So unless you really focus Chrissy now and you really try to make this advantage even more so in Imbi's favour, it's not going to result to anything significant, because both of these laners have got their first items, and that is a BF sword on the Sivir.
Pretty impressive. Vuptrox Academy, they are even ahead in gold overall at 8 minutes. Let's remind ourselves, it's Royal Reapers that want to be making the plays. It's Royal Reapers who are against the wall. It is them that if they are to lose this game, their split will end and they will drop out in quarterfinals, which is something that even the players themselves said they would not be happy about.
And drafting such an early game comp into the Vuptrox Academy is definitely a bold move. They need to be making something happen. I want Candy Malene to be making more aggressive plays.
And now he gets the stun onto Toxie in the mid lane. Yang Gang, he's got the Weaver wall, he's looking for a place to gang as Candy Malene is moving towards the bot side. Lepiggy, he's gonna be losing a lot of health. The Glacial Prison is still available. That's the teleport though being committed for Vuptrox Academy, and Royal Reapers have they overextended. Imbi has picked up the first kill of the fight. He's still alive until now. The equalizer coming through doesn't do a damn thing, and it's Vuptrox Academy winning the fight 2-1.
A disastrous play on the bottom side of the map will give Vuptrox Academy so much. They got 2 kills out of that, one going over to the Sivir, another one onto Yang Gang. It gives them priority over this Mountain Drake as well, another objective. All they lost for it was the teleport from Awaken they managed to draw out, and a bit of damage in this mid lane, but that is all that Royal Reapers will be able to salvage there. They did get a kill onto Imbi, but like I said, you need a large advantage if you want to push forward. The Piggy getting caught out here, you can see the play happening. Yang Gang sees what's going on, uses the Weaver's wall perfectly to cut off. He moves down so there can be no escape for Royal Reapers. TP from Endorser comes out first, does miss Call of the Forge God, but it zones Imbi in place enough to have him killed. Candy Malene sneaks away on the backside, but Awaken forced to TP as well and gets nothing for his troubles.
And the gold though, somehow it is still about even overall, which I guess is the consolation prize if you are Royal Reapers, because look at Yang Gang. He is in the head in gold, but he is 2-0-1, he has completed the Sorg Shoes as well as his Runic Echoes, and he will be hurting if he gets onto, well, literally anyone on the side of Royal Reapers.
The CS difference in the jungle is what's keeping Royal Reaper's gold level right now. It is very, very close between these teams. But while Candy Mylene is ahead in farm, Yangang has been doing the killing. Those assists have been going out to his laners. He's been generating pressure around the map, allowed Visiva to recoup a little bit of that CS deficit. Still hanging at about 10, but staying in there stable and not falling further behind is what you want to see from Visiva. Omena going to try and make something happen in the mid lane, but will get nothing. That on ultimate Call of Forge God not going to be used for anything meaningful. Candy Mylene stepping forwards, but Yangang is here as well. We might see a collapse now.
Candy Mylene, I don't think he got spotted. Omena dashes forward, good flash away from the Tillia, and Yangang is out of there.
Ultimate committed for Candy Mylene, drawing out Yangang's flash, and that will be a win overall for Royal Reapers. But we're seeing engages across the map here.
And Dorser gets the knockout with the Call of the Forge God Awaken, loses half of his current health as Toxie is going to get engaged. Here comes the Weaver's Wall in the ball lane. MB is all alone by himself. He's got a lot of damage, however I don't think he can turn it around as now Yangang runs away. Chrissy picks up the kill, 2-0 and 2 on the Sivir.
Another fantastic by Yangang means another death in the bot lane for Royal Reapers. Visiva is starting to get ahead. She's starting to get scary. And a little interaction between the Talia and the Lucian that a couple of people might not realize. When she puts that all those pebbles onto the ground, you take extra damage if you dash through them. Well, that's Lucian's bread and butter. His maneuverability, his ability to dash in and out of fights, forcing him to take that damage, immediately chunks him down to half health, and is an extremely easy kill then for the side of Vuptrox Academy. So I do like Yangang moving down repeatedly and trying to put this bot lane further and further behind, because Lucian is an early game champion. He's supposed to have dominance in this laning phase, and so far he is just doing nothing with it.
1-2 and 0, just 4 CS ahead. It might as well be nothing at all. And what do Royal Reapers are even looking to do? One of their win conditions trying to get the ball in ahead. I just don't think it's happening right now. The game isn't quite over. They still have a lot of time from now on, but what are they even looking to accomplish?
Royal Reapers need to out-rotate Vuptrox at this point. They haven't managed to find the advantage that they need in the bot lane, and I don't think pouring more resources into that is going to resolve anything. I think that's kind of a lost cause at this point. Instead, you want to be trying to force some of these objectives. You want to be forcing members of Vuptrox Academy to respond to your plays, because that's where Royal Reapers excels. We've already talked about how their playstyle is very scrappy. They're very good in these skirmishes, and they have a very good comp to try and collapse and pick off individual isolated targets. So looking towards items like the Rift Herald, making a dive happen on top, forcing something in mid is going to benefit them a lot more than trying to salvage this bot lane.
That's a good sidestep in the meantime by MB from the Piggy. If that dredge line hit, I can easily imagine it being a kill. Going over to Chrissy as Candy Mylene looking for a gank top lane, but Endorser has his flash, he has his ulti, and it's difficult to pull off even if you try. Toxie playing aggressive, he uses the slows, uses the Twilight Shroud to his advantage. Meanwhile, Yangang, he's just counter jungling, he's gonna steal himself away that red buff.
And we were a little bit concerned about how this Talia was going to fare, what sort of impact she'd be able to have on the early game, and so far it has been massive. We're going to enter a short pause here for the teams, not sure exactly why. We might get something through on our production side letting us know what is going on, but...
Okay, so the Royal Reapers top lane apparently good ganked in real life. At least that's all the info we have for now. But I feel like what we can talk about is what Royal Reapers usually do well. What we talked about in the series is trying to skirmish with Omena, Awaken, Candy, and Mylene. Those three, get them something that can fight early, and fight them. And what Vuptrox Academy did is they took it away from them. They focus entirely on the bot side, and the Royal Reapers don't really even have the opportunity to force the fights that they want.
Yeah, Vuptrox have been so proactive in actually taking the pace of this game. Vartesh has done a Yangang has done a massive amount on this Talia, just forcing plays all across the map, using that passive to move around very, very quickly, out-rotate, and the Weaver's wall placement so far have been perfect, cutting off any kind of aggression that Royal Reapers have had and punishing them so heavily that this Lucian that's supposed to be strong in lane, supposed to be something they can rally around and really be a rock to smash through Vuptrox Academy in the early game, just hasn't happened.
Is that back to life? Yeah, I think it is. You can see the gank.
Back to life.
Yeah, the gank in the bot lane didn't really succeed on the hand as well as the calling. Were both popped. Candy in my lane sticking around, but so is Yang Gang, and he has the Weaver's Wall. A small overstep from Royal Reapers will cost them their lives. Impi goes gold, and that's a good Glacial Prison, nailing down the Tilia. The heal is popped by Chrissy Lepiggy standing in the front line. Royal Reapers, they don't have the follow-up damage, and they go away empty-handed.
So much disengage on the side of Vuptrox there, able to kite backwards and just throw out that CC. They still have the lead in this bot lane, remember. Yang Gang has so much damage coming through, but Royal Reapers have to respect the threat of the turnaround. If Lepiggy would have been able to get a good dredge line onto Imbi or onto RR Francesco, that could have been a kill back into Vuptrox's favour. So instead, Royal Reapers will back away, they'll get themselves a dragon, but Francesco, difficult situation there. Didn't know if Yang Gang was going to go in on that. Decides against it. Going to clear out some vision instead.
Just take a look at the items. Oblivion Orb finished up. The amount of magic pen this guy has is insane. And the only magic resist I can see on the entire team of Royal Reapers are the Merc Treads sitting in Candy's inventory. Literally any target Yang Gang goes for will blow up, provided that all the skill shots land. And it's just so scary to face this Tilia if you are Royal Reapers.
SQ1 wouldn't exactly be the champion you're looking to burst out immediately anyway. So yeah, that magic resist isn't going to have the biggest amount of impact for Royal Reapers. And you can see now how much pressure it actually has that Vuptrox are playing with. Because all
over the map... Oh no, Impi! You just can't do that! Use the heal, he's still alive! The CC though, it will get him as Chrissy with the boomerang blade picks the kill up the dredge line onto Francesco. That's the double for the AD carry of Vuptrox Academy. They get 2 kills, they further their gold lead, and it's looking dire for Royal Reapers.
Yang Gang is simply everywhere. This Tilia pick has been monstrous. We thought his Sejuani was good, charging forwards and making these engages happen, but now he's sitting back, he's catching you out, he's just kiting and doing so much damage. That Weaver's Wall coming out was a big no-go sign for Candy Mylene, cutting him off and cutting Francesco down, but Omena caught out here.
Yeah, Toxic going in, he lands the shuriken flip, goes back, that's the flash away from Omena. The perfect execution, the second part from Toxic, he wants to follow it through, but the healing from Omena means he stays alive. He still has the flash, that's a great Glacial Prison from Candy Mylene, and Francesco gets the kill credit.
Unfortunately, it was the Karma that picked up that kill there. Omena would have benefited so much more from that, but a kill is a kill, and that will be a nice death that Toxie will suffer. More pressure in this mid lane will go the way of Royal Reapers. They might be able to get a bit more damage on this tower here. Instead, trying to move towards the Herald, and immediately, Vuptrox Academy are responding on moving down. There are 3 members towards this mid side now. They do not want to give up anything, but the Rift Herald might be taken by Royal Reapers.
Vuptrox Academy, they just decide it's not worth contesting for whatever reason. They do not go there, and it will be a free objective for the side of Royal Reapers. But with the Herald, you always are looking at how it's utilized, not necessarily the fact that it's taken. And we're 18 minutes in, the goal is technically even, but Royal Reapers, they don't really have any foothold anywhere on the map.
And at nearly 20 minutes into the game, you don't want the goal to be even looking at these teams' comps. You needed to see Royal Reapers having an advantage. 2k, 3k, 4k, the more the better is what they wanted. But with an even goal lead, looking into a composition which falls off fairly hard against the scaling composition of the side of Vuptrox, it's definitely not a position Royal Reapers are going to be happy with, because they just don't seem to be finding success with any of these plays, as we're going to see another fight potentially break out in the jungle.
Francesco going forward, he gets hooked back by Lepiggy. Yang Gang takes the kill up. Not much more to say. Vuptrox Academy with another pick.
Another pick, another death for Royal Reapers, another kill over to Yangang. This man is for sure the MVP of Vuptrox Academy right now. A clutch sub coming in. The 3 bans against him in the first game made no difference, and this game they were able to choose what they want, and with a different look, they're going for another win on track if they keep this up.
There is really no one, if you look at the side of Royal Reapers, that can match the carry potential that Chrissy and Yangang both have. Yes, Imbi has completed his Blade of the Ruined King. Chrissy has got the Essence Weaver and a BF Sword. And I don't think anyone can really get the same damage output that Yangang currently possesses. It's really tough, but I feel like Royal Reapers, they need to keep their heads up. The Baron is up, and the mid-game comps, it is acceptable to play around the Baron, but you need to execute it perfectly.
And it's how Imbi is going to position in a lot of these fights, because even though he has been put behind, he's not got that advantage we would like to see.
Oh, Chrissy, he's actually eating a lot of damage just to pop his stopwatch. Good play by Imbi, forcing that to be used. Omena going in with the abduct onto Toxi, who uses the Shroud, and he's going to stay alive. Francisco losing a lot of health. He's going to heal up with the Mantra W, though.
Like I was saying a second ago, it is dependent on how Imbi positions and how he is able to play, because he is doing a lot of damage. The problem that he has is Yangang has so much burst on this Talia that if Imbi is caught out or does manage to get tagged by anything from Vuptrox Academy, he is going to drop before the fight even begins. So it is all about protecting this Lucian at this stage, because even in the 1v1s with Chrissy being so strong on this Sivir, Lucian should still win these fights if it is a true isolated fight.
Alright, we're gonna get a big team fight happening. That's the hook onto Awaken. He's knocked up, locked in place, and taken by Chrissy, who goes on a rampage. It's a dragon for the top laner trade for Royal Reapers.
It's a dragon, and the Baron is up as well. The teams might not have it on the cards, but with Royal Reapers backing off, Vuptrox might want to set this up. They're gonna choose mid lane priority instead. Look to push in and take some damage on this tower, not wanting to go for that risky play just yet, but you can see Royal Reapers, they are putting the question mark pings over Baron. They suspect that this might be the play, but they can see mid lane has been the target instead. That tower will still just hold, but another minion wave is pushing in fast.
Imbi, I don't think he has enough wave through. Here comes the Weaver's wall. 3 members of Royal Reapers. Yangang, he has to flash away. You might have overestimated myself, my dude, but that's okay. It's gonna be a flash burn for nothing, but Vuptrox Academy, not the end of the world for them yet.
Vuptrox don't manage to make anything of that fight. They do lose the flash on Yangang, but it was a nice attempt. We can see they are trying to make these proactive plays, and really, Vuptrox are playing with the kind of audacity and the kind of pressure that I wanted to see Royal Reapers bring to this game. It feels like although they have the scaling composition, they can wait it out, they can get to these late game team fights. They are not happy doing that. They want to have these fights, they want to push the game forwards, and Royal Reapers right now just don't seem able to respond, despite drafting what on paper is the better comp for this stage of the game.
That being said though, if Omena steals the Call of the Forge God and you get an Equalizer lined up as well, I can see Royal Reapers winning 5 versus 5 fights. The only problem is that window is going to be closed in about 10 minutes or so, depending on how well they play. And from there it's only more difficult, because yes, technically Rumble does scale nicely. SQ1 is going to be tanky. Silas is going to be okay. But your Lucian just isn't going to do anything, at least nothing, compared to what Chrissy will have on offer, and no one on the side of Vuptrox will become less relevant the longer this game goes.
It is going to get increasingly more difficult for Royal Reapers to play this game out and win out in these fights the longer it goes on. Vuptrox have looked so coordinated as a team so far, other than the slight miscommunication of the first game when got flashed into and sacrificed his life over the Herald. They have played extremely coherently as a team. They feel like they've been the first one to the calls every single time, and I think in these team fights that is the execution and the coherence that's giving them the edge. First game it was very, very close and they managed to come out ahead. now, when they do have a 3k, well, a 2k gold lead already, and they have the scaling comp to fall back on, I do feel that they are in a much better position, and they're going to be feeling a lot better knowing that they're not at that pressure of match point.
Alright, Omena going on to Toxie. A lot of healing available for both the middle laners. However, here comes Lepiggy. Candy and Mylene is there as well. Awaken uses the teleport. Royal Reapers, they want to get the fight. They want to get the kills. That's one going over onto Omena. That's exactly what they needed, but quite a lot of resources committed for that.
Was indeed, and the teleport was a good play. It's going to let them secure this tower on the top side, but even then you saw how long Toxie was able to try and stall out that play for. Royal Reapers making very aggressive now, moving towards the Baron. They have been spotted out on it. You can see
Yang Gang has just recalled. Chrissy, can he get the second steal with a Q? And the answer is no. He's just gonna get jumped on and killed. Omena picks the shutdown up. Yang Gang nowhere close. Royal Reapers, they go for the desperation play. They secure the Baron, and it doesn't look like they're gonna lose a damn thing for it.
This is the kind of play that I wanted to see Royal Reapers making all game. They just pushed the boat out there. They thought, look, we've got the slight advantage. We know Endorser is on the bottom side of the map. We know we have the numbers advantage. Let's try and take the Baron here. They managed to sneak it through. They blitz out Chrissy on the backside of the pit, and they walk away with the objective, swing the gold lead back in their favor, and this could be the avenue that they need to take control of this game again.
Yeah, it's a great play for the side of Royal Reapers. They managed to close the gold gap. Second item now completed for Omena. He's sitting on that Morello Nomicon. Such a great item if you want to burst those targets. Awaken also now onto his equalizers will be massive. And Vuptrox, yes, they also have their spikes, but I feel like Royal Reapers now, they've got their 2.5 minutes to shine. They need to make the most of it, because the next opportunity is only coming up in about 5 minutes, and by then it might be too late.
Royal Reapers need to split the map here. They need to do something. They need to keep the pressure up in multiple lanes, because if they try and group and hard shove one lane, you are looking at a 5-1-3 Sivir with 2 completed items against you. Yes, it's not the end game crit once and the entire wave dies, but it's also a hell of a lot of wave clear. So although I like that Royal Reapers are using this push to move forward, it could be a risky play now that we are seeing Chrissy and Toxie recall.
This wall is gonna isolate Omena. He jumps over the wall. I love this from Royal Reapers. They do not care that they might be outmatched. They are pushing forward their advantages where they can. Chrissy joins the fight now. It's gonna be all 5 members of Vuptrox Academy, and Call of the Forge World gets the knockup onto 2. Candy and Mylene gets knocked out. That's a big equalizer. Look at all the damage. Chrissy is gonna burn to death. Toxie has to jump out. Candy and Mylene is on the front line. Omena is gonna steal the Call of the Forge World himself. Can he get any knockouts? He's just gonna use it for the wave. Now 4 versus 5 in favor of Royal Reapers. Can they break open the base?
Chrissy is down, so the wave clear for the side of Vuptrox Academy is not there. Royal Reapers will chunk through this tower. They will likely chunk the inhibitor down as well, but will they look for the fight? It's difficult to say. 16 seconds on Chrissy. They'll take the inhibitor and back away. A decisive play, netting them a valuable objective, and it looks like pings are coming out for the Dragon here. Royal Reapers explode open Vuptrox Academy's base with a sudden turn of events, giving them a 2k gold advantage in their favor.
That is what we wanted to see from this composition. Royal Reapers, they see the one opening. They play in the top lane. We said they used too many resources. I don't think they did. Considering where they are right now, they are looking like they are ready to take this to a game 3. But before that can happen, there are so many items now being completed for Yang Gang and Chrissy. They will start hurting you a lot. So the timer is slowly ticking to 0.
That death cap coming through from Yang Gang is going to be vital. I'm looking at the Ornn. The ability to upgrade those items and increase that AP even further is going to be horrific for Royal Reapers to deal with. But if you look at how they played this fight, they did it very, very well. They see Chrissy move forwards here, and this is where it looks bad for Royal Reapers. They have to kite back, but all of a sudden that equalizer going down does so much damage. Chrissy is caught in the glacial prison and the fight falls apart there. Roxy so nearly goes down, just managed to get out of the piggy, using the dredge line to pull himself away as well. And with the pressure they have, they're just able to walk into the base at that point and take the inhibitor. Baron buff has now worn out, but Royal Reapers do not want to let go. They are keeping their foot on the pedal.
Awaken is gonna get engaged on in top lane by Endorser. However, the main fight is happening in mid lane. Candy and Mylene in the front lines. Royal Reapers knock down that inner in the mid lane. The death cap has now been upgraded. The Royal Reapers, they realize they need to make the plays right now, and they are trying. They aren't making mistakes just yet, but they are threading a needle that's so thin it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, they need to make the plays.
Here comes the play. However, Awaken already loses a lot of health, and that's Endorser. He's the tankiest member you can pick. The knockup onto 2 coming through with the call of the Forge God. Toxie is still tailed down in bowling. He's got the TP to join the fight, but Royal Reapers will be forced to back off.
That was a very nice rallying around from Vuptrox Academy. They managed to get their members up there in time to help defend that tower. And Yangang just doing so much damage. I know we've been saying this the entire match, but we simply can't overstate how much of a threat this Talia is moving through the jungle. If she catches you, your health bar is just going to delete, especially if you are Imbi or Awaken with not a lot of magic resist at all on the side of Royal Reapers. They are reliant on getting the picks first, making these proactive plays, and finding the right targets to turn the numbers advantage immediately in their favor, rather than brute forcing through a 5-to-5 standard team fight.
Awaken just hit level 16, the Equalizer will be fully upgraded, and the Baron is spawning soon. This is a massive spike if you are Royal Reapers. The Equalizer is your major late game insurance, pretty much the only thing you have apart from that buff SQ1 in the front line and Omena stealing the ults. The Baron is gonna finally come up, and Dorser sent down to deal with the bowling waves has got the teleport.
Vuptrox Academy are obviously aware that this is going on. The ward was spotted in. It's when they're going to make their move. Omena trying to zone away, but doesn't really have the amount of threat if Vuptrox do try to force this. But a free Baron taken for Royal Reapers. Vuptrox didn't feel like they were in a position to try and contest that, or they simply didn't want to. Endorser desperately trying to clear these minion waves on the bottom side now. That is going to be all the more crucial now that these Baron empowered minions will be knocking at the doors. 4 members of Royal Reapers on this top side, with a Sejuani skirting around the mid lane.
Alright, that's another Baron buff. How much can Royal Reapers do now? The last inner tile remaining. Yangang no Weaver's wall, so he can't really lock anyone out. And that's gonna be the 7th tower of the gate. Picked up by Royal Reapers themselves. They will be looking to pick up more inhib towers, and there's a lot of wave clear. If you are Vuptrox Academy, you have the Savior, so it isn't that bad for you.
This is what I was talking about. I want Royal Reapers to split the map here. I don't want them to group up as a 5, but we will be going into a brief pause, unfortunately. Seems like we are having a couple of slight issues with disconnects, etc. going on this game. It's going to give the players a crucial chance before what could potentially be the last fight of the game. Royal Reapers all of a sudden in a good position to force through and even up this score, taking us to a game 3. Vuptrox Academy need to hang in here.
Then if Vuptrox Academy managed to find that one fight that will shatter Royal Reapers, they could be looking to go into the semi-finals even this time. But it's looking hard for both teams. This is the series that we wanted to see. Neither team is really having that much of an edge over the other. You can still see it go either way, but yeah, we are in a pause right now, patiently awaiting the the unpause to come through and probably set the stage for what you said could very well be the last fight of this game, maybe even the series if it's Vuptrox getting a decisive win.
And it really is going to come down to whether Yangang is picked off early here. He do so much damage in these choke points. Royal Reapers, they have to try and funnel into the base. There's no way around it. They have to go through these narrow entryways. And Talia is such a threat in that kind of situation. A clutch Weaver's wall, catching Royal Reapers in, and all of the damage that can come through on top of that if they are grouped up could be devastating. But we have to come down once again to the execution. These teams have given us 2 extremely close games so far. It was looking like it was going all of Vuptrox Academy's way so far, but in the last 5 minutes, Royal Reapers have turned it on its head. They've won out a couple of key fights, they've managed to get some Barons, and now they're pushing onto Vuptrox's base. So it really is on a knife edge, and these 2 teams going all the distance, it looks like. There have been no holds barred at all. They're really putting the work in.
And we can see the stats being back up. I just want to take a rundown through all the items. We have double items sitting right now on Awaken. He's the big cooldown we have to watch. But Omena, he's on 3. If he can steal a big ultimate and find his way onto the back line, he's in the position to take out someone like Yang Gang. Even taking out Toxi or Chrissy is going to be enough. And it's up to the individual players of Royal Reapers to step up in the situation and fight against the odds.
Yeah, and we're back into the game now again. So we are out of that pause. 31 minutes in, Royal Reapers knocking on the door, but another pause
You said something?
is going to come through, unfortunately. We're going to have a bit more delay, bit more hype, bit more build-up, but we are looking still at the same situation. With going to see if we can get any word from our producers as to what these issues are. I'm assuming it's just little bits of disconnect, that sort of stuff going on.
Okay, so ping issues for Royal Reapers is what we heard, and that's what I assume the teams are writing in the chat. What I do want to point out for the next fight, Omena has hijacked the Call of the Forge God. The thing is, Ornn has AP scaling on that, and Omena is building AP.
That's a big ultimate, not alone with the damage that you just mentioned, but from the sheer amount of CC it can do. If they do manage to get that Call of Forge God in a nice line, knock up 2-3 members of Vuptrox, and then put the Equalizer on top of that, that is going to be so huge. Royal Reapers will shred through Vuptrox at that point because their health bars will simply have disappeared. It feels bad if you're going to get killed in a game-winning fight by your own ultimate like that, but are Vuptrox going to group up and allow that to happen? We have yet to see, but it looks on if you take a quick look at the minimap, it would appear that Akali is managing to zone away the Sejuani. Toxi is just chasing away Andy in my lane here, and that's relieving some pressure because it means there's one less lane, but Baron empowered minions are coming down.
Yeah, they are, and well, we are back. I really hope there won't be another pause. Candy in my lane, he's using the ultimate down onto Toxi. Here comes Call of the Forge God from the Endorser. The Weaver's Wall is gonna isolate Omena. The Equalizer is thrown down. Omena goes golden. He has the dash. He doesn't even need to use it. No one dies just yet. Candy in my lane, he's in a lot of trouble. Toxi, he's looking for the kill. The stun is coming through. Francesco with the clutch shield. He's gonna save his jungler. Toxi does not opt to re-engage.
Andy in my lead living on the tiniest bit of health. The tower did fall on the top side, but Omena was pushed back. He got isolated, didn't manage to drop. Vuptrox Academy did not claim that kill. It is still a 5 versus 5, and there is still the ongoing siege.
There definitely is. We're awaiting the point where the fight will brew over and someone will go in. Endorser, he tried. As now Omena, he jumps forward. That's the blow up onto Yang Gang. The Tilly Ice down. Massive shutdown for Royal Reapers. Can they win the fight now? It's gonna be a 1-for-1. Candy in my lane dropping. Omena looking for the backline. Does not get the abduct onto Toxi. It's a 1-for-1, but the Tilia is not dead for the next 30 seconds.
No ults are available on any of the Royal Reapers lineup here, so they are going to have a difficulty if they hang around too long. But that is all 3 inhibitors will fall inside Vuptrox Academy's base. The Equalizer has come back up and will be dropped, allowing them to walk away. Chrissy wants to try and chase this down. Endorser will be chasing onto Imbi, but will not manage to find anything. This is a massive, endless army of super minions that are going to be marching into Vuptrox Academy's base now, and while they have the Sivir to wave clear as best she can, this still gives Royal Reapers all the control they need around the map to set up these plays and move in for the killing blow.
And look at the timing on the Baron in the top right corner and on the inhibitors. All 3 inhibs will still be up by the time the Baron spawns again. And Royal Reapers, if they secure the 3rd Baron, That will be the game-finishing play, unless, of course, we see Yang, Chrissy, Toxi, really anyone on Vuptrox Academy find that one play. It all becomes about individual outplays, and I'm gonna say I am really impressed with how Omena just blew up Yang in that team fight.
Managing to get onto this Talia and blow him up before the fight starts is what I have said all game long needs to be Royal Reaper's plan. They manage it in that fight, and all of a sudden, Vuptrox Academy's base is in tatters. The Baron buff is still just here. They are trying to push in these last few minions. I believe it's just ran out now, as we were saying, but there are a lot of super minions pushing in. There is a lot of pressure coming down, and this could be the fight to end the game.
Alright, and also going forward with the searing charges, trying to wave clear some minions. All of the ultimates I can see are called. Omena uses the Forge God, that's knock up onto 2. The equalizer is big. It's gonna split Vuptrox Academy. Toxic trying to go into the backline. Triple knockup by Endorser. Here comes call of the Forge God from Vuptrox Academy. Toxic picks up Francesco. Now he's the target. Chrissy is gonna get taken down by Omena, who's gonna get killed himself by Yang. The Tilia is still alive. The shot is dodged away from Awaken. He's going forward. He wants to get the kill. He's not gonna be able to. MB falls down. Candy in my lead. He's the only member of Royal Reaper surviving, but the minions are there. Yang with the Weaver's Wall is pushing forward. The seismic shot, not enough. Candy in my lead is gonna escape. The minions take the Nexus turrets, but Vuptrox Academy stay alive.
Alive for now, but with only the Ornament material alive, there isn't a huge amount of wave clear. We could be looking at a situation where it is PvE for the game. Endorser is been forced down. The minions just managed to chip away now, and it is 10 seconds on Chrissy. As soon as that Sivir is back alive, Vuptrox Academy will be out of the frying pan. They will be able to clear away these minions, but now with an open Nexus, they are going to seriously struggle if they lose any of these fights and find themselves on the back foot.
The Nexus is still the target. The Baron up in 45 seconds. Vuptrox Academy will be able to clear the waves. I just don't see them contested though, unless they go here right now. Big pickup though for Yang Gang. He goes for the Banshee. Omena won't be able to one-shot him this easily anymore.
We'll have a little bit of protection, but it's looking dire for Vuptrox Academy. The only structure of theirs that stands on the map is this Nexus. They know that Royal Reapers are going to be on this Baron. They know how devastating that is going to be if they manage to pick it up. But what can they do? They can leave at most 4 members over to that fight. The Sivir has to stay in the base and clear. They're going to opt instead to seed that Baron over and just desperately try to push these waves out as much as possible. They're going to have to try and look for a 5v5 fight to collapse and take the game from Royal Reapers, because in just a few seconds time they will come marching in with their army of super powered Baroned up minions, and that is a siege that I don't know if Vuptrox Academy can survive for a 3rd time.
There will still be a wave of double super minions spawning, I think. In all the lanes, the inhibitors are slowly coming back up, but Royal Reapers with one good fight, they could end it here. Call out the Forge called by Endorser, that's the Awaken! He's blown up! He throws down the Equalizer before he dies. The Omena uses the Zhonya's Candy in Mylene, soaking up the damage in the front line. Lepiggy is down. Toxi is gonna get taken by the double kill for Omena. It's 2 for 1 in favor of Royal Reapers. They are not done yet.
But the damage for the side of Vuptrox Academy is still alive. Chrissy and Yang leave that fight with burst abilities available to them. Endorser is there on the that tanky front line. It is going to be down to execution. There is 4 members. There is an army of minions. But do Royal Reapers have enough to close the game here?
They have so many minions. Endorser is the target. Candy in Mylene. Arctic assaults forward. They want to get this all. Omena 1v1s against Yang Gang, and he's gonna be down. That's Royal Reapers winning the fight, and they take us to a game 3.
After a hard-fought game, Royal Reapers emerge victorious, and that is going to be a big pickup for them. We're going to a game 3, everybody, in our quarterfinals here between Royal Reapers and Vuptrox Academy, with both teams coming out on top of their respective games, looking dominating.
Yeah, it was such a good game. This series is delivering. We said Royal Reapers don't have the scaling. Well, apparently they have just enough of it, because at about 30-something minutes they managed to close the game out. They take us to a game 3. There will be one more match to decide this fate of the series and who moves over into the semifinals.
We talked about turning up the heat at the start of this series, and now at a match point, our teams will be sweating. It all comes down to this last game, this last deciding thing. This is the last stab for either of them to advance forwards and potentially move up to the finals. The remaining team will leave disappointed. And after such a hard-fought series so far, it will be a sour, sour blow to the losing team. But there can only be one, Royal Reapers or Vuptrox Academy. Which one of our teams is going to emerge victorious? We'll find out after we throw it to a short break.